That's so good. Y'all sold it so well.
We're going to keep going. We'll do an outtake.
That was so good.
Just keep rolling.
You know what?
Hold on. Nick's lost his mind. Here, come over here. Look, we didn't know we were rolling. Hello, everyone. My name's Drew Franklin. It's day 4 of SEC Media Day. Day 40 is what it feels like. Look at this man.
Like
I don't even.
Joker just laughing gas bombed on him.
This is where we are. There's really no one here. We've worked 13 hours a day. We've slept 3 hours a day. But you know what? We're still here grinding. They're going to have to push us out of SEC Media Days. And we're just going to make this fun. We're going to do our SEC Media Days all SEC team. And I'm not talking about the players. I'm not talking about Jefferson. I'm not talking about any of the cats, even though I voted for a couple of them.
Oh,
we're gonna,
you gotta cook the books.
I did a little cooking. I got the spatula out there a couple times. Dan Key, you're welcome. But I want to kind of rank scene things.
Okay.
Like this, not so much football.
Nouns from SEC Media Days.
We're going to do nouns.
Person, people, places.
So this is going to be a very informal KSR's All SEC Media Days first team. I'm going to try for 11, but I'm not going to count, so it might end up being 12, might end up being 6, but let's just roll. Roush, and number 1, Tuesday night at the stage, T-Bob, Arkansas Media, Rusty from Dogs HQ. We had an absolute blast.
Rusty is a Rusty. Arkansas Media, Animals, I think that's what the A stands for, and T-Bob, mullet, cowboy hat, Crocs, no buttons on the shirt, all juice, no breaks.
Tuesday night was so wild, there's some names we won't say to keep them out of trouble. Craziest time ever, it's number 1 on the list. Number 2, last night, Nick Roush got treated to a little bit of Robert's Western World. Little recession special. For those that don't know, that's a fried bologna sandwich, chips, a moon pie, and a PBR, all for $6 American on Broadway. You can't get an ice cube for $6 at some place on Broadway.
How have I never been to this place before? I've been looking for fried bologna sandwiches, and it was right in front of my nose this whole time. I should have sniffed it out, and my life has forever changed.
Stay on the food topic. Here at SEC Media Days, they do something I haven't done since I was in kindergarten. There is a snack time. It is on the schedule. 3 o'clock every day we break to snack. Grown adults need snacks too. I was thrown off, but Roush, free hot dogs every day when you're busy working. Sign me up.
Media flocks to it like stink on shit. They are all over it, and it is gone. You have to know when snack time's happening, because if you don't, it's gone.
The itinerary says 3 to 4. If you're not there by 3:04, you are not getting snack.
It's like a barbecue place where they cook it, and when it's gone, it's gone. Like, that's it. But instead it's just hot dogs.
Number 4, let's talk a little football, but not really. Lane Kiffin, today. It looked like my man pulled his boat up to SEC Media Day, stepped off the dock, and got to the podium. Didn't bother combing his hair, rocking a nice tan. That was Lane Kiffin that showed up and didn't even feel like he wanted to be here.
He put as much effort into his hair as I put into my hair. Actually, even less. It was incredible.
More on you and hair later in this list. Coming up next, Titans. Thank you for having us for the SEC Media Day social last night. Obviously, big Titans guy. We got to go to the stadium, had lots of free beer there. I've paid a lot of money for beer in that stadium, so it was nice to go in there and get some free wins to get my cost average down for beers in Titans Stadium. It was really cool to be there. A nice event they threw for us.
They're beering it forward, Drew.
Number 6, JJ Weaver. Fitting. JJ, obviously the Six Fingers thing was a big deal here. I felt a little bad for him. One after another, people just coming up and asking for a picture of your hand. That had to get old. That's not what he's here to talk about. But he handled it great. Even got a little personal with some mental health things. I thought he was a star. All the Kentucky guys did good. Stoops included, all 4 of them. But I really like JJ and his moments here in SEC Media Days.
At SEC Media Days, even for us people, we just go around and talk to other people and say the same thing over and over again. And he had to do this 1,000 times, just holding it up and repeating it over and over. It's exhausting, and he...
Every day. I'm used to it now, though. Yeah. Ain't shit.
Very excited for JJ Weaver, and very excited for number 7, JOYLAND. Food again. A lot of food on this. It's almost like we haven't eaten today. We're a little hungover. But JOYLAND in East Nashville, right around the corner from our KSR house.
House Hotel.
Beautiful burgers. I ate there twice in 3 days. Like the crusted, the old gristle, get the old flat patty, let it cook in its old grease. Crinkle cut fries. We had a nice late night family dinner there Tuesday. Got to have JOYLAND on the list.
Even had a breakfast sandwich that saved my life this morning. So shout out
I
JOYLAND.
didn't know you went back today. Nice.
Went back to the well.
Okay.
Went back to the well.
I did not know. Number 8, how about dumbbells? I walk in this place. Why are so many media members jacked? We're not playing. Why? are we testing in here? Because we need to be. And I realize my little noodle arms can't show up next year without hitting some weights. So I'm adding dumbbells. Clearly most people here have them. I do not. But when we're back in Dallas, I am going to be jacked.
That's a future you problem. That is a future you problem. You're writing a check your ass can't catch.
But am I wrong? It's like, we're here to talk about football. Why do you look like you've been outside throwing cars around?
Well, the secret is most of those guys used to play football, so they still think they're football players.
It's just them, though. There's a few just writers walking around looking like this.
Well, I hear HGH is really good when you're in your 30s, so why don't you give it a swing?
Actually, no. Noodle arms will stay noodle, but really unbelievable amount of jacked here for no reason. Number 9, Andy Staples, new On3 colleague. I mean, we all know the name Andy Staples. We thought it was pretty crazy when On3 hired him. We get to kind of work with Andy Staples, see him around the break room. Got to meet him at a little On3 party. You know, big name, big personality. Couldn't have been nicer. Really, couldn't have been nicer. I love meeting him. Really, a lot of these media people you see on TV, they haven't really met. You just want to go up and introduce yourself. All so friendly, but I'm going to use Andy Staples as the category because it was really nice meeting him.
I was worried when we were hanging out with Andy Staples, though, former Florida Gator. I was worried that Adam Luckett was going to get in a fight with him over Steve Spurrier because Steve Spurrier is a 4-letter word in the Luckett household. I was concerned that his old ball coach might cause some strife with KSR, but no, nicest guy ever. Nicest guy ever.
Again, this is going to sound like a suck up. It really is. But we hadn't met a lot of people we work with at On3. We've done some Zooms, some Slack, some texts, but we got to meet pretty much everyone we work with, and it was really awesome. I'm not saying this to suck up, but I do hope they see it. Thank you for all that, and we had a lot of fun. Number 10, this guy. I got to include him. What he has done this week has been remarkable. Really, everyone in KS House has put on superhuman efforts. 13-hour days. Not much sleep, but this one especially, and his stupid 6 a.m. radio show he gets up for and does after we've gotten home 3 hours earlier. I have to shout out my man, Nick Roush. He's been an all-star, and of course, the Mark Stoops question that stole the show. But really, Nick, it's been awesome watching you be Nick Roush at SEC Media Days.
Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games.
I do have one complaint, though. On Nick's show, he likes to yell roll call, and when I'm in the room next door and he's doing that, I am also up at 6 a.m. So also, no thank you, Nick Roush, but really, awesome job this week.
The good news is my voice is usually gone by then, so like I can't scream that loud, but it is fun. I learned a couple of years ago that like, why am I just being a dork and sitting behind my computer and listening to these coaches talk? Like, have some fun with this thing. Go talk to some people, get amongst them, do some handshaking, some backslapping, and oh yeah, if you can get Mark Stoops to talk to you for a little bit and like, you know, cut up a little bit, you bust his ass, you know? What are we hiding from here, Mark? Like, you can't wear hats for everybody.
So I had to come home. Is it ever going to be time for Mark Stoops to come home? You know,
Yeah, there is going to be a time.
There's going to be a day?
Probably now, but, you know, it is what it is.
Come on.
Supper's on the table.
Come on home.
Mom's getting mad. You got to get on home. Oh, and let's see. I think this is number 11.
We made it to 11?
I think. We could watch this video and we're on 7, but it feels like it's 11. I think it's 11. We'll edit it if it's not. Shout out to Kroger. You knew it was coming. I had to do it.
The real
I had to do it. I had to do Kroger. Obviously, Kroger sponsored us. We wouldn't have had KS House and 5 people down here. Bringing 5 people to Nashville for this, that's you know, and then not many publications here have 5 people, but Kroger helped us get here. Shout out to Kroger. I know you love to go Krogering.
We late night podcasts, and when we start talking Kroger, it's not hyperbole. Like, that's my favorite adult activity to do. To go to Kroger and like walk around and pick up my stuff. It's freaking awesome. And they're a sponsor with it. It's perfect synergy. We are one in the spirit world of Krogering.
I think they might actually use that for a real television commercial. That was beautiful. Also with Kroger,
Deliciously different.
Any OG KSR football podcast listeners, if you're out there, I'm sure there's a couple.
Watched that show last night.
Well, that too. But you would have thought we've been sponsored for Kroger. Freddie has been talking about the for sale Kroger before Kroger even knew KSR was over there.
It was a sponsored segment that wasn't sponsored.
Oh.
It just Freddie talks about his trips to Kroger.
I will say, as someone who stayed back to tidy up the old KS house, 5 guys in just a few days, we can do some damage. We weren't even there. How does it smell that bad? We were there like 3 hours a day.
I know how it smells that bad. It's that recession-proof bologna sandwich.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, KSR's first ever all SEC Media Days. Team, all 11 of them, all 7 of them, whatever it was, shout out to everything we named. That's been the stuff we'd enjoy the most outside of the football. Obviously here on the YouTube channel, lots of football too. Watch that. But thank you for watching this ridiculous conversation. I think fire alarm's gone off. That might be telling us to leave. Is anyone still here? We're going to go.